4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Welcome to another episode of the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. And today we are talking about Keynote versus Signature Talk. What is the difference? And again, this is just my opinion. Of course, various people train various things, but I will give you the difference between a Signature Talk and a Keynote. That's right. And we'll talk about the structuring of it a little bit. Now, remember, you're listening to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. If you like what you hear, make sure you click the subscribe, like, and comment. Send us a comment. And if you send us a comment, I will send you a copy of my book, whichever book is available at the time. Absolutely free of charge wherever you are in the world. But make sure you send us a picture of the comment so we can keep an eye on it and we know who sent it. And then we can ask you for the address and we can send it to you. But of course, you're listening to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. Here, every single week, we release an episode a week, which is why you need to click the subscribe button right now. We did some research. A lot of you are listening, not many subscribing. It's time to subscribe. It's time to step up and subscribe like a warrior that you are. So today I want to talk about the difference between Keynote and Signature Talk in my mind, in the way we train it, okay? I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, just saying a lot of people go, what's the difference between Signature Talk and a Keynote? And some people go, there is no difference. But actually, we believe there's a difference. That's right. We believe there's a difference between a Signature Talk and a Keynote. Now, you will hear from other experts that there isn't, or you'll hear their opinion. This is our opinion. So just know that our opinion is the right opinion. Just saying. Hashtag just saying. Anyway, my name is Elliot. If you know anything about me, make sure you read about my bio. And we've been going now, wow, this must be over 100 episodes of the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. And we were actually listed as top 5 contributors to a podcast platform. Woohoo! Just want to share that with you. So let's talk about this. What is the difference between a Keynote and a Signature Talk? And the difference between a Keynote and a Signature Talk is this. A Keynote, you get paid to give away the how. That's why it's a Keynote. Now, of course, Keynote has the connotation of you being the main speaker of the event, right? You being the main, you delivering a keynote. So therefore, you are of importance and therefore you get paid. And again, depending on the time of the day, opening or closing, you tend to be the opening keynote or the closing keynote. But of course, throughout the day, other people are giving keynotes too. So again, it does depend on the conference, does depend on the event, it does depend on the attendees. But from where I come from, people that get booked to do keynotes get paid. And also they often get paid because they're going to give away the how, right? That's the key here. They're going to give away the how, not so much so that they never have to be booked as a consultant or any of the other services, but enough to then be paid for it. A Signature Talk, in our minds and how we train it out, focuses on the what people need to know. And therefore, what you're doing is you're magnifying a gap that says, well, there's a problem. Here's a solution. Here's the gap, which is what your Signature talks about. And here's what you need to know on how to address the gap. So therefore, a Signature Talk tends to lead to a sale. It tends to lead to someone booking in a call. It tends to lead to something, which means direct buying. And that's the key difference. Can you get paid for Signature Talk? You can. Of course you can. But normally I would use my Signature Talk when someone books me and doesn't pay me. Therefore, there's a sale at the end. But if someone pays me lots of money, I'll do my Keynote. And that's how I differentiate them in my mind. If it's paid, Keynote. If it's unpaid, Signature Talk. Right? Therefore, I have a greater scope to accept speaking opportunities because I'm more than aware that I'm going to monetize it either way. But what does change is the type of content I deliver and therefore what I'm likely to get paid. Now, here's the thing. If you charge for your Signature Talk loads of money and then you are spotted later on doing it for free for somewhere else, you'll destroy your reputation in the industry. And believe you me, this is a very fickle industry. Right? So that's why you should have two different talks. Your Keynote is the how people solve the problem with your expertise, and the Signature Talk focuses on what people need to know to solve the problem with your expertise. So that's the key difference there. And structurally, there's a very different psychology. So when we train out keynotes, what we train out is how you set up the keynote. There's 3 key areas that you cover, typically with stories and data. And then there's a big emotional elevatory conclusion, right? Again, does depend on the topic, but that's kind of the structure when it comes to a keynote. Now, signature talk, what's really important is people truly get that you get the problem, right? So your opening needs to kind of get people thinking. Then you need to address the problem you're going to be addressing. Then, while you're the person to address it, then you also need to put the solution in front of them. Excuse me, I had to cough there. You need to put the solution in front of them. Need to cough again. Excuse me. And then you tend to tell a story that magnifies the problem, the solution, why the person deliver it. Then it's your content. Your content is your shop front window. It's the why should I come in? What's in it for me kind of thing. So your content shows off your expertise, and then there's a call to action. So very different structures, very different very different ways to lead people to a end point, right? So the keynote, it's about people these days and age want speakers that have implementable steps. So you share the implementable step, you share everything that should be going into the talk and everything, and then what you do from there is you're able to elevate the audience. And that was my wife just walking in the middle of a recording. And then signature talk is really about you coming in and showing the audience what they need to know to solve their problem and why you're the person to solve it. So those are the key differences when it comes to the difference between a keynote and a signature talk. You should have both. Remember, one is to charge for, one is to speak to sell. There's no right. And because the modern speaker needs to be more flexible, you need to find more ways to monetize yourself, because you're competing now with virtual, you're competing with hybrid events, and of course, you're competing with a lot of speakers that are willing to do it in a speak to sell format, in a signature talk format. So adding a signature talk shouldn't be such a bad thing. I just want to share that with you because we get asked, what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? And how do I structure a keynote? How do I structure a signature talk? So you have all that here today, right now, for you. Okay. So if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, and of course, leave us a comment, rate us as well. If I can help you anyway with your keynote, your signature talk, reach out, because I'd love to help you and support you in any way we possibly can. And then let's go from there. So I look forward to connecting with you. Remember to go out there, be seen, be heard, and always be more giraffe. And remember, don't only be a great speaker, but always speak your greatness. Till the next time.